I'm here in my garage. I want to paint really huge, so I have a hollow core door here that I'm going to cut down to about 5 foot. I am going to put together a collage that is a warrior woman that is almost life-size is my goal for I want to enter it in the Western Washington Fair. So come along with me as we cut a big door down and start collaging a massive woman. I've actually put together a lot of the collage pieces from deli plate printing, and I'm going to use those plus some fun and interesting stuff, but I'd love you to come along on the journey. So since I'm reusing something that was not, I did get it new, but it was all scratched up. So they couldn't use it for a door anymore, and there's a tiny bit of water damage here on the edge. So since I very much try to practice reuse rather than buy new, I have some problems to solve, because when you cut a hollow core door, there's a reason it's called hollow core, is it's hollow inside. So to make edges, I have, because I'm also kind of a vintage girly, I have a ton of measuring sticks. Funny part is that I need the thicker ones, and I don't think there's a standardized thickness. So I'm going to think that out too. No. So these are all pretty much the same thickness. I have 3 of these thick ones. I wonder about these thin ones. They're quite a bit thicker. Okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is a collaged board. I just pegged it in with quilt pins. This is a piece of styrofoam, like wall material, covered, it's pink foam, it's covered in a piece of felty fabric. I usually use it for my my quilt layouts, but I found that I really like pre-laying out collage pieces on it as well. I didn't love the print on this one, so I pulled out another print of the same stamp that I've hanged. Some of these are already pre-glued together in kind of a pauldron like shape for the armor. But I am imagining her with a blue kind of flowing dress underneath some armor pieces. And this head was just a stand-in when I was working. I don't think that's it. I actually found an old self-portrait when I was a much younger human that I did in college, and I've always liked the hauntedness or the sadness in the eyes, and I feel like any woman walking into a warrior situation would come with a deep grief for the loss of life. At least this woman would. So I went and got it black and white copied, a little bit smaller. I like that she's a little bit thicker. I think representation really matters, and this is the headdress kind of armory piece that I put together on her. I'm not sure if her face isn't still just a little bit too big. So I'm gonna work with that and figure out if I need to go and color copy it a tad bit smaller. I will be redrawing it on a piece of translucent paper because I'm hoping to put some stuff in the background that'll come through the face as well. I also pulled out a piece of punchinella. This is sequins waste. I have a lot of this in the studio right now, and I actually thought it might look really interesting, like woven into the layers of the collage. So I'm gonna get started. Okay, I've transferred all the originals to the board, and then I went through and kind of found all the additional pieces. I have a suitcase I use for all my collage materials, and it's nice because when I'm in the midst of a project, I thought I had pulled out plenty of blue, but I need some more for the connection spots. So being able to just quickly find it again, find the stuff I was using, kind of the deli plate prints I was using to lay out the original piece, finding them again and being able to use those to fill out the little areas that I need feels really good. I also pulled out a few pieces of imagery I thought actually would help tell the story. I love this thistle. This was carved by one of my ancestors, Moira Hume. My friend Myrna had a collection of hers stamps, and she's been long gone for years. And I love that I still can use some of her beautiful work, pulling it forward into my work. And I'm excited to get started gluing down a wall trimmer. These come from Home Depot, or you probably could find them at the dollar store too. The pad slides off if you need to. And I just love that it's not a paintbrush, and it's got a little bit bigger surface, and I like being able to get in and really scrub the surface to get wrinkles out. The other reason I love using this is that I know I never put any of my paintbrushes in straight acrylic medium. That's just these pads, so they don't, sometimes acrylic medium can really wreck a brush, and I find I'd much rather wreck one of these. They're very, very cheap, and usually you get a couple pads for each handle you get. And I've taught many classes, and being able to teach a class and having them all know that the brushes aren't meant for gluing, these are, it just helps keep my brushes a little bit better for longer. So I'm gonna get started. I'm not sure. I should probably put you on a timeline, so I'm gonna go do that, get that set up, and get ready to go. Oops, I painted some. I thought I was doing some videoing, but it didn't happen. This is the current state of her dress. And the background, which I decided to do kind of in sunset in my hands. I don't know if that's gonna work or not. I tend to like to kind of darken the corners or edges of a piece. So I'm gonna throw a little bit. I wanted to see what she'll kind of disappear. Like when you're laying something out and all you can think is, does she need a sword? Who knows? I don't know if this big bell shape really works. I also have some punchinella. I usually use it to spray paint through or put texture through, but I'm adding some of it just straight. I have a ton in the studio right now from a thrift store haul. I got art can be defined by what I scavenge, and what I have too much of in the studio sometimes helps me make decisions. I think the shoulders might be too high up, but I'm really liking the weight of the skirt now. I put a lot more, I did some color over the top. So let's try just moving the angle of those shoulders down. I feel like this sketch needs a lot more work, but I wanted to kind of get an area of this black section here is just too dark. So I used the same imagery, which is a stamp I carved, and then I added some pinks and greens and yellows to the back so it will pop through. But I do like that higher look rather than the lower look. And then let me find a piece of yellow for that other spot I'm not liking too much. This is a placeholder. It's not thick enough. Maybe this is a better match for the background. Let's see. That makes her shape a little less awkward right there. I do like this. I do like these. I'm gonna just sit with it for a minute. So there's an artist who calls this work the silent work, where you're just taking your inspiration and you're taking your visual clues and going, is this it? Is this it? And in collage, I love that I can kind of futz with the layers for a while before I have to make a glue down decision. Because the dress is glued down. The rest of it is still playable. I just want to make sure I'm on the right path before I go for it. And I think I kind of like her off kilter a little bit. I was thinking she'd be straight up and down, but I like what it's doing to the shoulders to be kind of tilted. So I'm going to do some work where I'm just sitting and staring. I'll come back hopefully for gluing, and I'll see you soon. This is where we're at so far. I added the cheeks underneath on different pieces of paper, and I added the white to the back with spray paint. I need to do the neck, and I'm going to do the neck a little differently. I'm going to use this piece and I think some tighter circles. And I'm going to go in with white and then a little bit of pink halo, clear bits. So don't really want those to be spray painted. That. I don't care if there's a little spray paint on that. And maybe this bottle, maybe that would work. That. Okay. Let's start with the dots, and they're really light, nothing major. Might put some up here. Maybe a few. Yeah, like that. To clean off your stencils, I just like to have some spare deli paper around and use that to pull a print. It's kind of wet. There might be another one. And I just like building lots of surfaces that way. Okay, that moved a little bit. We'll see how that goes. And a tiny bit of pink. Let's see how hard that line is. Not too bad. Those lines are definitely fine. I'll use the same piece. Sometimes I won't lift it. I'll lift it onto that if it feels like it's going to be super sticky. Oh, that was all the way dry. Waited too long. When I was spray painting, I'm working really, really fast. And this was all on the back of her. So then the pin and the ink stand out a little bit more. I'm not sure how much of this is even going to be seen. And then I work just on a box because I'm out in the garage. I think she's going to live right there. She's got a whole headdress situation going on too, but she's looking cool now. I love to put some texture behind the face so she really stands out and stands proud on the surface, and the whites will really help with that. But yeah, next I will probably do the same thing with her arms. I have her elbows. I decided she needed a sword, so I have her elbows and her hands separate, drawn separately, so I can kind of change the shape to make sure she's still making sense anatomically. So I'm going to put some white behind her in these. And I might use some like tattoo-ish style paint. That. So I think on one upper arm I'm going to use this piece of foam. And on the lower arm, these triangles, this is from, popped out from a game. My husband and his friends love to play board games, so this is a fun way to reuse something that is definitely a waste product. Just go in the garbage if we weren't actually in the recycle bin, if we weren't using it. I really like to use these. Use a little fresh paper. Is that potty paper? I don't like it as much as deli. Deli really pulls it off. Just trying to get up here. That blew around a little bit. I'll get a little bit of texture, but not much. That's okay. Angles down the arm really quick. You can tell I work very, very light in this process. Squares up on the elbow. Tiny squares, and then I'm not sure I love the edge there. So I'm gonna make sure this bigger square goes right over it. Yeah, I like that better. It softens it. Let's do that here too. There we go. Let's do this on this side. Sometimes it's fun. Have it on the back. Okay. Here in rainy Washington, I just wanted to say that I'm going to split this into 2 videos because it's too long already. And if you're still here, I want to let you know I'm coming up on a big milestone, 200 subscribers. So if you like this content and want to stick around, please give it a like and a subscribe. And I just can't wait to grow this channel to share all the loveliness. Take care of yourself, each other, and the world. And I'll see you next time.